As an Irish person who lives in the US, I find it strange where I have and have not been. For instance, I've never been to France, despite it being a very popular destination for Irish tourists. The same goes for Spain, though I am going in a few weeks. I also haven't been to Central America, the Caribbean, or Florida, which are popular for people living in North America. In fact, the only time I've ever been to California was when I had a layover in LA Airport. I was on my way to the most random and unlikely place for me to go that I have ever been to: Australia. I was only 4 years old at the time, so I don't remember any of this all too well, but the reason why I was in Australia was because my dad's friend who lives there was getting married. We flew to Los Angeles one day and had dinner at the airport there. I don't remember the airport very well or what I ate, but I do remember that it was dark outside. We then flew for some ridiculous amount of time to Sydney. We stayed in a granny flat, which is a small house built on the property of another house by the owner of that house that people can stay in. It was in the suburbs, and we would drive our rental car to the ferry terminal where we would get a boat into the city. While in Sydney, we saw the Sydney Opera House, which was cool. We also went to the Taronga Zoo, which had a cable car over the zoo, which was also very cool. Also, while we were in Sydney, a spider the size of my hand came into the house, but you kind of have to expect that in Australia. We then flew to Brisbane, which was where my dad's friend lives and where the wedding was being held, and stayed in his house. I fell asleep at the ceremony, I was 4, don't judge me, and didn't go to the party, so not much to talk about happened there. There were wild turkeys that wandered into the back garden, bush turkeys they're called. We then stayed in a different house, which had a pool and an absolutely massive bathtub. There was also no giant spider encounters, which was a plus. Also, at some point we went on a monorail in the Gold Coast, which to this day is the only monorail that I've ever been on. Overall, I think it was a pretty successful trip. As I said before, I don't remember very well, so I probably missed a lot of stuff. So yeah, I would recommend going, but I wouldn't do it again just because it's too far away. Hey, thanks for watching. Since I don't really remember a lot of the stuff that happened to me in Australia, this video ended up being a lot shorter than I would have liked, but when I make a video about my trip to Spain, it'll probably be much longer than this, since I can write each part of the script on the day each thing happens. If you want to subscribe, you can, I don't really care.